I mean, this looks ridiculous. Come on. I don't know how people do this with a camera strapped to their heads. It feels so awkward, but I guess the result is worth it. Anyways. Okay, so I have a little free time today, and I figured let me throw the GoPro on my little headband mount thing here and do a rolling review of this car that I talk about so much, the Fiat 500. This is my Fiat 500. It's a 2013 model, and it's a pop, right? It's the lowest end model that you can buy, but I think that even for the lower end model, I think the value is really, it's all there for the amount of money you pay for these cars. So I wanted to take just a couple minutes, talk about that value, and then talk about a couple other things that you can only really discuss while you're actually driving the car. So let's do a quick rolling review of this Fiat 500. So right now I'm driving through glorious Dover, Massachusetts. It's one of the nicer towns near me that has just beautiful rolling smooth roads, and just the scenery. As you can see, the scenery is just, it's lovely. It's very relaxing. So, you know, what better place to do a rolling review than this lovely town. Ah, look at this. I mean, how much more glorious can it get? Look at these, look at that horse. Look at that. Fantastic. Anyways, so we're heading towards a road that I really enjoy driving on. It's not this one, it's coming up on the left. The name escapes me right now, but the name doesn't matter. I know the road. It's a nice, windy little road going through a residential district. So we'll keep it slow, we'll keep it respectful, but we're still gonna have a good time. And that's the point of this review, is that you don't need to be going fast to enjoy the drive, right? Rarely do I push this car to its limits. This car is a great example of how you can have a lot of fun in an underpowered yet well-balanced car. Yes, it's underpowered. It's only 99 or 100 horsepower. Yeah, it's goofy looking, but for the money that you can pick these cars up, you cannot beat the value that you get. The only way you can kind of match it is if you get a Miata, right? To me, the Miata is the ultimate version of an affordable, well-balanced, not overly powerful car that is just a hoot to drive every time you get into it. These Fiat 500s, especially this year, this is a 2013, you can pick these up off of Craigslist, you know, privately through a sale, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Now I know if you go on Carvana and if you go on CarMax, they'll be listing this car at $9,000 or $10,000. I think that's a little overpriced, to be honest. I mean, it's for $10,000. There's a lot of cars you can buy. I probably wouldn't buy a Fiat 500 for 10 grand, unless it was an Abarth. If you found the Abarth for that much, that's a decent value. Go for it, because that's a different car. It's faster. It's got the turbo. It's just more visceral. That car is more fun. But here's the road I was talking about. So anyways, this car, for the money, if you buy it privately, you just can't beat the value, and you cannot beat the fun factor. Now I'm gonna demonstrate that to you right now on one of my favorite roads here. It's kind of narrow, it's twisty, but at no point am I gonna exceed 35, right? And it's still gonna be fun. That's the whole point. You can get this car, it can do everything you ask of it, right? Because it's a hatchback, you've got room back there, put the seats down, carry whatever you want. And let's make sure there's no cars coming. That's 34. I'm doing 34 miles an hour, right? But it feels like I'm going a little faster. It doesn't matter how fast I'm going. Listen to that thing. Now, in the past, I've driven this car for reviews. I've driven this car with the hatchback open, so you can get more of the exhaust sound, right? But right now, I wanted to show everybody this is the car. All the windows are closed, right? Hatchback is closed. I do have a deleted muffler. There's no muffler on this car, makes it a little bit louder. But you know, everything's closed up, and you can still get a lot of feedback from the exhaust, even with everything closed. So let's just enjoy the drive for a couple minutes, hear the sounds. You can see my speedo. I'm not going that fast, but you know, the fun I'm having is up there. It's definitely, I'm having a good time without going too fast, without upsetting people, and without spending a lot of money. Like I said, I picked this car up for about, what was it, $7,000 3 years ago, and it had low mileage. It only had like 45 or 50,000 miles on it. Good value when I got it. The person who had it before me clearly took care of it, and I've continued that care throughout my ownership. And it's you know, it's given me no problems, really. The only problem I've had is the door handle on my side outside broke off, and I wasn't being aggressive with it. I was just opening the door like normal, and it broke off from the hinge point. I've heard that that's an issue with these cars. I've heard that's a cheaper part on the outside there. It was an easy fix. I used some clear caulking to reapply the door handle, and it's been fine ever since. That was about 2 years ago that happened. So, you know, other than that, mechanically, everything's been great. Oh, look at this turn. Phenomenal. You know what's funny? I don't even have sport mode engaged. So check this out. If you guys know these cars, there's a sport button here, right? Now, you push it, and not much happens, but enough happens to make it worth pushing it, right? So let me push it. And from what I've read, it basically just adjusts the throttle response so it's quicker. So when you tap on the gas, it's a more instant response, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't increase the horsepower, it doesn't make it louder necessarily, but it does increase that response when you tap the gas, and it makes it just a little more fun. So it is worth tapping the sport button. Oh, there is one more thing it does. You hit the sport button, throttle response gets quicker, and the wheel gets tighter. What that means is the electric servos that assist this wheel do less work. Therefore, you feel more of the road, and you're doing more of the work in the wheel. It just gets a lot stiffer, basically, which it's good. That's a good feature to have when you hit that sport button. It does make the whole experience just a little more lively and a little more fun. I love this part here. Hold on. You can see my speedo, and I'm doing 36. That's a little faster than I should be going, so let me just bring it down again. This road is phenomenal. It's just perfect. It's a perfect quintessential New England road. And the beauty of Dover is that they pave their roads almost every 3 or 4 years. I feel like they pave all of them. So the roads are always smooth, and even you know, even the shoulders are pretty smooth. I think there's a lot of cyclists in this town who enjoy these roads too, so like they want to keep the shoulders nice and smooth for them. That's another reason to keep it slow. There's a, you know, as the weather warms up, the cyclists come out, and the, you know, the walkers come out, so you always want to be respectful in neighborhoods like this. But you know, this road is just one of my favorites here. Let's see if we can make a little more noise around these turns. Some downshift here. So now we're at about like 4,000 RPM, and with the exhaust, with the muffler deleted, you get this nice resonance back there. It's not annoying, it's just right. If you wanted to hear more of it, you can open up the back hatch a little. You just crack it open, put a blanket back there or whatever. It definitely makes the experience more fun. But yeah, just this is the cheapest one you can buy, and it's still a good time. I've never driven an Abarth. I'd imagine that's just going to increase the fun factor a lot. Those push 100, geez, I want to say 150 horsepower. I can't remember. It's more horsepower for sure. Alright, let's bring it down a little. See if I can downshift. The one thing this car doesn't do, because the displacement is so little, and I still have the the cat and everything in place, of course. I didn't want to mess with the emissions. Oh boy, listen to that. Almost sounds like a Ferrari, right? Yeah. No. Oh boy. I just want to hear that exhaust for a little bit. Yeah, as I was saying, the one thing this car doesn't do, it doesn't do a lot of burbling or gurgling when you downshift, and especially if you're on like a hill or something. Usually there's a bit of suction in the exhaust. Oh boy. Now we're talking. There is a police station up here. I should take it easy. It doesn't do a lot of that burble, right? I call it the burble. I've had cars before that do it, and it's one of my favorite sounds. But this car doesn't really do it at all. You can try to do it on certain hills if you're going at a certain speed, but you know, this is a 1.4 liter engine, and there's just not enough air moving through the exhaust to get that kind of burble action. So that's the only thing that you know, I wish there was more of. I wish there was more of that burble sound. But the exhaust does sound great once you take that muffler off. And yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give a quick like rolling review of this car while I had a moment, and just let everyone know that this car, for the money, it is a great value. It is so much fun, and you know, it's worth every penny, especially if you get it in this color. Look at this color. I love how they bring the outside color, the exterior color, into the cabinet. This car is all about fun, and it's also classy too. I think it's got a very classy shape to it, a classy design to it. But if you're thinking about getting one of these, I wouldn't hesitate. Just test drive one. Try to find one that's not like too modified or beat up. This was bone stock when I got it. The only thing I did was get new rims for it. I got them off Tire Rack, and that's pretty much it. That's the only upgrade I've made. And the muffler delete, I guess, if you can call that an upgrade. But yeah, these are worth every penny. They're efficient, they're fun, they're not going to get you into too much trouble because they're not that fast. And I say check them out, and don't be afraid of what other reviewers say about this car, about the build quality. And I know Scotty likes to knock on this thing a lot. I watch all his videos, and you know, Mr. Kilmer, he's very talented, but he's got something out for this car. He hates this car so much, but I have to say, from my experience, it's been great, and I think it's worth it's worth a look, that's for sure. So as always, thank you for watching, and I think most of these professional YouTubers have like a tagline at the end, so I made one up. I think it's a good one. Here it is, okay? Buckle up, put down that phone, enjoy the drive. How's that one? Let me know what you think of that one. Okay. All right. Take it easy, guys.